Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. Today we are doing something a little bit different and special. You know how sometimes I will do readings based on dreams that I have had, and last night I had a neat dream that I thought, let's incorporate this. This is quite neat. So the story time is, in the dream, there was a sort of a ceremony ritual going on to choose the next leader for whatever it was that they were doing in this group. And they were in sort of a old wooden type building. It was night, and there were some elders, some council around. And I was coming in, and they had everybody who was eligible had put their brooch in like this box. And everybody's brooch, it was like the old signet rings in the old days where it was identifying, it was like an identifying brooch. So the person doing the picking who would put their hand into the box and draw out the brooch that was going to be the next leader for whatever they were doing. In the dream, I didn't do very well. I accidentally messed it up a couple of times, and then one of the candles just faded and went out. There was a candle here and a candle here, which we will get to. But ultimately, we got the candle rekindled, and then I was able to reach in and I could feel which one it was that needed to come out. It was like when I draw runes where I know which one is needing to come out, because as Blum says, the right rune sticks to your fingers. The dream that comes after that, there was how do I put this? Because I don't want to give too many personal details, but there was an old, like a sage or suppose an old mage in like a wooden cart sleeping, and then beside him was a boy who was, I guess, his apprentice. And the part I was playing in that was I was their animal companion who was coming up, like it was magical, like a magical companion who was in an animal shape, and coming up and lying with them, so joining them, so that when they woke up, then that guidance would be with them. And it was sort of like on the journey. So it's like this, the story time is to set this reading session up, which is I'm going to be doing 4 readings where I'm sort of reenacting that ritual where you're going to choose a brooch. That's the difference, is that you're choosing the brooch first. But based on that, we're going to build around it. We're going to see who your counsel is. We're going to see what your main source is that is your kindling for this, with the clarity that's going to come through, and we're going to see what your backup is for that. We're going to see where we're set in, where we're doing this. We're going to then we're going to draw your animal companion, your mage, and who your child is, like the inner child that is being led by this new leader, which I'm going to give to the mage at this point. So it's basically who's guiding you, who is your animal companion, which is the magic sort of support, and then you, which is the inner child, what is being led. So I'm terribly ambitious with this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 card sets, oracle card sets. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rune sets, and I have 4 brooches. So we're going to see how this goes, but hopefully it'll be at least fun, entertainment purposes only. And if it's slightly more than fun, where you actually get some mystic like kindling for yourself, then hooray, then you get to run with that and have a good time with that. So for your journey. So we have 4 brooches. We have, let's call them the silver brooch, the cameo brooch, the turtle brooch, and the topaz brooch. Yeah, we'll call them that. So feel into the brooches. Feel into them as though you're reaching into a box full of brooches with identifying brooches in them that identify the people who are vying for being leaders. 1 or more of these will have a message for you about choosing what you're going to allow to lead you or guide you. And I will put the timestamps in the description, and I will see you at the readings or the rituals. Bye! Hello to all of you who chose the silver brooch. So let's keep the silver brooch there. That's the one that's in the box that you're going to choose. First thing we're going to do is see where this ritual is taking place. So some of these cards are places and some of them are states of being. So I'm going to read this as in a place of. So where is this taking place? And this is the Sacred Forest Oracle. Where is this taking place, this ritual? It is in a place of water, so a place of manifesting dreams. Sorry, we have otters. So let me just put that there. So that's where the ritual is happening for you. So in a place of manifesting dreams and where it's all intuition and emotion and heart and all of that good stuff, we're going to be taking care of this ritual and perhaps even playfulness because there's otters. So let's get our council around us who is witnessing this and making sure it all goes okay. And I'm going to put one in each directional point. However, I'm going to pretend that this is north. But that's actually east from where I'm making this. But as far as the purposes of the ritual, of picking this new aspect of self that's going to lead you for a while, we're going to do it that way. So we have Walker on the Wind, the Raven shows the way, be courageous, change and chance can bring exciting wonders. So we have great wisdom in the north for you. Sorry. I knew this was going to need to be big, but but okay, for the council in the east, we have seed spells, create your story. It is the most potent form of magic. We have for our council in the south, we have away we fly, take the cloud roads, delight in your imagination. And in the west, we have this council. Forest Sister, the moon shines brightest after the storm. So this is the elder. This is the elder and the earthed elder. The air council, which is probably a little bit younger, but in terms of not young, but just also having to do with communication and things. South is drive and will, and so it's taking off and delighting in your imagination. And west is we are sort of becoming, going to elder aspect, and this is experience. So, and also the watery stuff, which connects with the water, which is great. The moon shines brightest after the storm. So that counsel, that comfort. So I'm going to move these up a little bit, so because we've seen them, and now we need to draw some other things. So let's get our candles. It was kind of neat because when the candle went out, all I had to do, of course, the way the candles work is I had to move the back up near it, and then it rekindled. So this is your primary source. Ooh, nature and your true nature, and also just forces of nature, so natural forces and things. We have Hagalaz, which is the rune of the hailstorm. It's your nature and your true nature. So this is what's coming through in the portal that you've created by the candle as you prepare to draw this brooch as what's going to lead you. And this is your backup, self-knowledge, which is Pertho reversed, which is the rune of the lot box. Whatever's in the lot box was always in the lot box, and when it's reversed, it's inner. So self-awareness, self-knowledge, knowledge of self, opening up to that. Opening up to your true nature. If that starts to go out, then just rekindle that with learning about yourself, and you find out about yourself that will connect you to your true nature. So you reach in, you pull out the brooch, and this is this is the aspect of self that you're going to allow to guide you. This becomes your mage. So let's move the council out of the way a little bit. I'm actually going to, we were actually going to remove them because we're no longer in the barn. So that's good. And we're going to remove the candles. So you're going with this. This is your mage. So let's see who your mage is. I was going to do this animal mage child, because the animal finds the mage and child. So let's do that. So this is your animal spirit. This is your magical connection to your true nature, which we just saw in the rune that was your candle. And this is what comes to, this is how you approach and find that arrangement of the mage and sage, the sage mage that you're going to connect with, and the child that he is leading, or she, depending on how you want to think about it. In the dream, they were male, but that doesn't need to apply to your version of this. But it was through the magical, natural, mystical animal guide that I found them. Peace. So, for the purposes of the storytelling, let's have the animal guide be an otter, and the otter is bringing peace through connection to one's nature and one's, how do I put this? One's mystic connection to one's mystical, natural, instinctive self. That is going to help both of them, because it's going to connect them. It's going to be a means of connection between them. So the playful nature, we just saw otters. We saw otters in the barn. So that's really cool. So we have that connection with the otters. So there's a playfulness, there's a naturalness dealing with the element of water, which is just to be able to melt into that. So we have an affinity with emotion, intuition, heart, flow, creativity, love, all of that. So that's going to be the connector between the mage and the boy. So next we're going to draw the mage. So the mage, we're using the shaman's dream. Why is this all sitting out on top? Oh my gosh, I can just see myself spilling those everywhere. Okay, we're not going to leave the open cards in an unsealed deck on top of things. So, the mage. Let's see. We're using the shaman's dream to draw what the mage is like. Getting lovely ASMR of cards shuffling today from a rune reader. Okay, the mage. And of course the wagon represents the journey. Netcaster. Preparations come to fruition. So that always reminds me of Terran Wanderer, which I believe I've spoken of recently on this channel, with the family that lives by the river, and they put nets out in the river, and even if they don't catch fish, they keep whatever they catch because they will eventually need to use it. And so that's what this mage is like. He or she is very much like making sure that nothing is being missed, no opportunity is missed, and that we're casting out and making sure that that we take advantage, that we use whatever comes to us, which is really cool. So let's get the child. The child aspect that is being led at this point, that you are embodying. You're embodying all of these. You're embodying the mage. The mage is the one that you've chosen, basically. Like this is the brooch. The brooch belongs to this mage. And so this is what's going to be, you've elected you've mystically elected via ritual as the leader for your next little while. And this is the aspect of self that you are going to be leading. And again, you're embodying all of these. Happy. So you are, the child part of you is, what did I just do with this? Oh, that's the other box. The child aspect that you are embodying, that you are leading, is very optimistic, is very sweet-natured, is very delighted by things. And I think basically the mage is going to be, I was going to do interplay of the council before. Oh, well, you know what? That's okay. We drew them. We talked to them. So this looks very much like, this is very carefree. Your child aspect was very, very carefree. And this is being led now. You are leading this child now as to being a little bit more, not frugal, but just basically to have a little bit more respect for preparation, a little bit more mindfulness towards let's not be as careless. Let's not be as like, you can be a little bit carefree, but in terms of carelessness, we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we are keeping nets out for what needs to be captured. And the go-between for that is the otter and cattail, which is your instinctive, mystical, very animal aspect. It's like your inner cub kind of thing. And this is what bridges these, is this playfulness and peace. So both of these are inquisitive and curious and, definitely open to excitement and happiness and joy. This is a very joyful trio here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to lay down a few runes on each of these, and we are going to get a bigger picture, because the first part is basically laying out the cards with a couple of runes for the candles. But now we're going to go from that into laying out runes on each of these and getting a good idea of what's going on with this interplay. Okay, so we're going to start with the mage, and let's lay out some runes on the mage and get a good idea of what the mage is about in this particular case. So the mage, whose brooch you chose, central issue we have is Nauthiz, which is the rune of need. And this is exactly what this card is about as well. It's just basically making sure that you are paying attention to and tending to your needs and the needs that are or may be. And that's why we're making sure the nets are cast at all times, like being prepared, making sure that the preparations that we're making can, and that's the card is preparations coming to fruition. So the things are in the net because you were mindful and prepared, and so that came in. What led up to this is we have Thurizaz, which is the rune of the Thorn, the Giant, the Gateway. It's the challenge, but it is upright. So it's one that you've just passed. So you've completed the challenge, probably partially getting your brooch picked. This is what it's the preparation part. And the mindfulness of the preparation so that this can all come to fruition as per the card. So you've just completed that, and now you're like, now we have what we need. The fruition has happened, and now we can work with that to take care of our needs. What is going to help you, which is lovely, is we have Laguz, which is the rune of water. So once again, the otters, the water aspects of things, and also the counselor on that side, which was talking about the moon shines brightest after the storm. So it's definitely accessing heart, accessing and acknowledging emotions, accessing joy and healing and peace and playfulness and intuition and flow. And that's all going to help. And we have the otter bridging the gap between, not that there's a gap, but acting as a go-between between the mage and the boy, or the mage and the child. What isn't going to help is this is relatively new ground, especially for the child. So what isn't going to help on the mage side is, I think, not only the fact that we're stepping outside of a comfort zone because we've actually just passed a threshold, but also just worries about that, and maybe even, this could actually panic. I don't want to drag this all in, but these are all watching. So what isn't going to help these endeavors is acting as though, no, we can't have these things anymore that were a joy for you or protection for you. So it's just a sense of you don't want to, you're worried about what you're letting go of, even if it's something that isn't serving you. You're worried about stepping outside of comfort zone, and you're worried about losing that sense of safety and sanctuary and security. And in the dream, of course, they were on their way somewhere. They were resting in a wagon, like a cart. So they were taking a rest. They were sort of off the road at the time, but they were resting, but they were on their way. This is the journey that they were on. So there is that sense of that worry about, what has been let go of. How much security do we still have? But if that's the case, we are reminded we're going with the flow right now. We're flowing in a state of peace and healingness and joy and happiness and heart, and letting that carry us forward. What is not going? Our next step on the pathline, and what rounds out the mage's reading, is Avaz reversed. We're not really rushing forward so much. We're very much not feeling frantic about this. We're taking our time. I mean, again, in the dream, they were resting when I came upon them. So we have Ava's reversed, which is the rune of the horse. Horse's movement is spirit. Reversed is, calm, not rushing around, not frantic, and connecting with spirit internally. So I'm going to do the child next. The child, I'm using birch because birch is beginnings and birth. And what do we have for the child? We see these birch runes every day, which is fun. I usually use the birch runes on my daily, when I can do them daily, on my daily readings, because they're nice and petite and at hand. Ooh, that's interesting. That's interesting because the mage is picking that up. So that's good. We have, for the child, we have central issue is Tifa's reversed, which is Tyr's rune. Tyr is the warrior god. He has to do with taking care of what needs to be taken care of, duties and responsibilities, and also driving forward. And in this case, we're meeting these two in a cart while they are resting, so this is basically taking care of inner needs, taking care of personal needs, taking care of duties and responsibilities to oneself. The child may be a bit worn out at this point because we've passed through a threshold and we're starting a new thing and we're just basically having a rest. Leading up to this, great value, and knowing that there is great value in what is being done. Just checking a thing. Yeah, so we're definitely thinking, and we're taking care of this. So we're connecting with this, which is an element of, as you connect with the child aspect, you knew that this was going to be of great value, and you knew that if you took care of this, it was going to bring you a sense of worth. So this is definitely good. But yeah, now you're in a situation where you definitely need to take care of your needs, your own personal needs, and also just stop fighting things as well. Like stop being resistant to things and just lay down your sword for that. Have a peaceable way forward. What is going to help you the most as the child aspect is being open to what is going to present itself, to being open to what is coming. We have the blank rune. The blank rune also always implies connection to the divine, whatever the divine is for you. So open yourself up to something that's bigger than you. This could be the mage, or this could be the divine, or this could be the universe, nature, anything like that, higher self. But that's going to help you the most, this happy child aspect that is going out and learning some preparation skills and some mindfulness, and seeing how that leads to fruits of one's labors. You are going to be worried about the fruits of your labors, though, and in fact, you're worried about a lot of those things. We have Yira reversed. We have Yira in the lower line, and Yira is the rune that generally has to do with worries about how much time has been wasted, how little time may be left, and what do you have to show for it. But also, there's some questioning in this pile that is really relevant to this. So this is basically preparations come to fruition. This is the netcaster, and this is what is leading the child at this point. It's like, let's be a little bit more mindful. Let's do some preparations. We can do it bit by bit. We don't have to do it all at once. But look what comes of it. It's like if you have ingredients for chocolate chip cookies. They did a sketch on Sesame Street like this, where Cookie Monster wanted to make chocolate chip cookies, but he wanted to eat the chocolate chips first. But he was like, no, if I wait and make the chocolate chip cookies, I can have chocolate chip cookies. I won't have chocolate chip cookies if I eat the chips first. So that's sort of what the transition is happening from, where you can be very happy-go-lucky and very, very carefree, and which is great, and you can carry that forward and continue to have that. But if you have a little bit of preparation and a little bit of, careful mindfulness, then you can have an even greater thing come to fruition just from taking these things bit by bit. So there's worries about that. There's concerns about that. When is this going to happen? And, how much time do we have left? And how much time have I wasted getting to this point? Bring yourself back up to just trust. Just trust whatever the divine is for you, and trust and be open to whatever is coming through, because this is where you're being led, and this is where what is the brooch mage is leading you to. And ultimately, you are going to be shown, this is really, really cool because we have Nauthies on both of these. Now, this is the Nauthies that has no reversal because it's exactly the same and I've measured it. But but this is reversal. So the child is going to be very interested in the taking care of needs. And that's this is the whole thing is about, is that we're taking care of, we're putting things in place so that preparations can come to fruition to take care of these needs. And these may be needs that seem like emergencies even, but this also comes into tending one's internal needs and one's personal needs. So we have Tivas reversed, taking care of your own duties and responsibilities to yourself and taking care of what needs to be done. And then we have Nauthies reversed, referring to inner needs. So the child is learning from the mage. The mage is leading to show how the child can do careful preparation and be mindful, and then suddenly our needs are met. So finally, I'm going to throw down some runes on the animal guide, the mystical animal side, the instinctive side, which is bridging the two, and this is their means of communication. So we have Vercana reversed, which is an internal birthing. I don't see this as backburnering a birth, like backburnering a beginning. I see this as an internal birthing. This is where we're seeing the kindling of something new happening. Leading up to this, we have Gabo, which is the rune of the gift. This is agreements, decisions, goals, and plans, or one-on-one interactions, and that's what all of this is about. So this is that connection where they're sort of, this is like the go-between. And then we have that leads to, we're kindling a new, I'm going to use a lot of fire imagery because of the kindling, but there's a lot of water in this. We're kindling that new unfurling self that is being birthed or rebirthed through this process. What is going to help the most is this is what carries the home that you carry with you. The wild instinctive nature can lie down and sleep where they are. And so this is, even though there's a worry about, what are we letting go of, there is a home that you always carry with you. And that's what the otter is reminding us. What isn't going to help is Isa, which is freezing up and basically just constricting and contracting and freezing and not moving forward, but also worries about that. So this was an agreement, but it was a loving agreement, and it was something that was completed already to a certain extent. But then leading from that, we're starting this very, very, like from a seed, we're starting this new beginning, this new birth. And you may be tempted to just if things frighten the otter, then there might be like a freezing happening and then the water won't flow. So that's definitely not going to help. But also freezing in place is not moving forward either. Bring yourself back up to where you're connecting with home and the home that you always carry with you, which is filled with peace and happiness. What this is going to lead you to is it's going to be a long road. We have Ivaz, which is the rune of the yew tree. This is patience, slow growth, slow development, step by step, integrating between worlds. So this is the go-between. This is the instinct that's going to bridge the mage and the child. But I just see home as just this foremost thing where this is all going to be about integrating our new experiences into a new sense of comfort and sanctuary and solace. So, wow, you guys. I used to say that all the time, because I was raised on electric company and stuff. So, my lovely people, that is your exciting special reading for the Choose a Brooch, the Pick-a-Brooch, where we're going to pick what aspect of self is going to lead our child aspect for the next little while, and our integrating instinctive aspect of self, who is going to bridge that connection. Neat. So there we go. That is our reading. So I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello to all of you who chose the cameo brooch. So let's keep the cameo brooch here. This is the one that's going to be picked as for what is the aspect of self that is going to be leading you, specifically leading the child aspect of self for a little while in a certain thing. I am going to, this thing is like a huge production number. I just finished the first one and it's like, but it's cool. It's cool. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. We're going to get some really fascinating things from this. Okay. So first of all, where are we holding this ritual? Because in the dream, it was in like a barn. Did I just drop that on the floor? Jiminy Cricket. So let's get where this is taking place, representing, the arena of aspect of self that this is happening in. Oh, I'm getting really mythic in this. So if you're a little bit itchy when it comes to mythic talk, I have a lot of videos and you can enjoy one of the ones that doesn't. So, but I'm always pretty mythic. I hope you have fun though, because this is like entertainment, but also like a theme park ride. Okay, where is this being held? Where is this ritual being held? In a place of healing. In a place of healing. With the bear spirit, which is very nurturing. So that's cool. Just pick up the box that fell on the floor. And let's get the council. Let's get the council around us for this. So in this place of healing, we are selecting this aspect of self that is going to lead us going forward. So the first part is going to be the ritual, and then the second part is going to be the mage and the child. So in the north, with earth, we have the storyteller. Stories are medicine, strengthening and renewing. So the elder is our council here. In the east, we have the spell singer, cast spells of wonder and delight. In the south, we have the Northwood Fae, take time for hibernation and healing. And we have in the west, the Autumn Fae, go slowly and listen closely for the words of the tree spirits. So these are your council. I didn't do this in the last session, but I am going to see if there's a little bit of an interplay between these. It's very much, in a place as far as healing goes, tree spirits, storyteller, spell singer, and Northwood, which is kind of funny because it's in the south. Hibernation and healing, well, we have the bear. So there we are. Let's part these a little bit so we can get the candles down. Now, the first candle I'm going to lay down is that connection, which is going to be seeking the deep inner heart. This is the connection you're connecting to. This is the portal you're opening to access the deep connection to heart. And then if that falters, you're going to reignite that with Tivas reversed, which is making sure that you're taking care of your own needs and the needs, the duties and responsibilities you have to yourself. So if you are having trouble connecting with heart, take care of yourself, because then you will be able to do that. So you draw this brooch, which is who is going to lead you. This went a lot faster. What did I do on the other one that was taking so long? I don't mind, but holy mackerel. Okay, well, we can spend a little bit more time on this, but so we draw this. This is the one that we're going to go with. So let's go out of the barn, and then we're going to go to the cart where we meet the mage. Oh, I know, because I did this. I did this in the last one. We drew the mage, and we drew the animal, and we drew the child. So let's see. Oh, you know who I have in my hand? I have the child in my hand. So this time, we're going to look at the child first. Which is interesting. Let me move the candles over here for now. Oh, let's move the candles, because we're not in the barn anymore. All right. So who's the child? What child aspect is on this journey now with a new leader? I'll move this down actually as well, because the order in which it's happening is also relevant. So the child aspect is imagined. So you're very you're very much in tune with that. You're very much in tune with your imagination, with the imaginal realms. And so I oughtn't to have been worried about becoming very mythic in this discussion, because you love all that. So that's good. So next we're going to look at the mage. The mage that we are coming upon at rest in the cart. We have the jeweled web and connectivity. So this is really quite neat. So what the mage is leading the child in is, let's take what you're taking joy in with the imagination, and let's start to make some connections with that. There could be internal connections, there could be external connections, there could be things that are happening that are very exciting that you're only seeing part of, or that you're being very loosely connecting with. But once you start to see the connections, it becomes like constellations, and it's just gorgeous and glorious, and it enriches your life so much. So now let's bring in the instinctive aspect of self, the part of you that is going to come and act as the go-between between these two. And so you are joined by the hare and oak, which is new opportunities. So, close this box, get this cleared. So the hare that joins you for the purposes of this story is your animal companion, but also your mystic aspect. It is the instinctive aspect that you can embody, that can allow you to both do the things that the child already has, and also to take on and incorporate what the mage is leading you in, and what the journey that you are on, and that you are taking, and that you are seeing. So let's get some runes down. This one's going a lot faster than the first one, and I'm worried that I'm missing things, but I don't think that I am. I think I just got more comfortable with what I'm doing with this. So for those of you who also watched the first one, or for those of you who are going, why was the first one so long? I've never done this. This is something fun that I thought would be really cool to do. And so we're going to just keep going with that. It's an adventure. It's all an adventure. Do you want to bring this down? Do we want to bring this down a little bit? Make this a little bit more centered. I made this so that I could build it really big, and this is the first time I think that I've got these oak runes where they actually like fit. So that's exciting. Oak runes are big. So actually, this time I'm going to lay all of these down at once, which is going to be a neat way to read it as well. We might be able to spot some interesting interplays there. Also, so we get to see a lot of the, not repeats, but very interesting echoes and call and answer kind of thing. And then the hare gets the maple. Ooh, and you're going to let go of what no longer serves and step outside of your comfort zone, which is quite neat. Your instinct will help you. Your instincts will help you with that. And there's Gabo again. Okay, so let's start with the mage, whose brooch you chose. The mage, and again, this is not gender specific. This could be in your mythic version of this story. We could have a female mage, even though my dream had a male mage. So central issue for the mage is we have Dagas, which is the rune of the breaking of the day. This is revelations, this is illuminations, this is moments of like incredible epiphany and enlightenment, the breaking of the day. And this is basically like you've been going along allowing your daydreams to just happen, and then suddenly there's this reveal that it's like, but guess what? All of this is connected, and each can inform the other, and this is all a great constellation, et cetera, et cetera. Leading up to this, we have Yira, which is the rune of the harvest and also time. you've just had a bit of a completion. I mean, there was the completion of choosing this as your guide for this little bit. But there is also that sense of we are coming from a place of abundance. And the abundance is actually coming from the imagination as well. So that's kind of neat. And so anyway, we're in this situation where we're having this full illumination, these revelations, the entire field of vision is being filled, and it's just light and color and air, and it's exciting. What is going to help you here? We have Sovilo, which is the rune of the sun. This is connection to source, whatever source is for you. This is connection to your source energy and whatever it is that always energizes you and nourishes you. This will keep things connected and keep things bright and exciting and good, and keep you with the energy to run with these, because that's very exciting as well. Like you're going to need that energy. So whatever that is, keep that at hand and access it as needed. What isn't going to help is we have Fehu. This is basically, it's the rune of wealth and worth, and in the lower line it's kind of like, yeah, but what worth is it? What good is it? It's not something. There's that terrible idea that, if you can't market it, that it's not worth anything. It's like, but how can you market, just enjoying the beauty and wonder of life? So it's a quiet joy, but it's not that quiet. This is like a lot of exciting brightness and wonderfulness. But anyway, yeah, just reconnect with, if that starts to drag you down, as it might, you who are embodying the mage at this point, just it's sort of a bitterness about it. It's like, yeah, but nobody's going to think this is worth anything. It is so worth everything. So reconnect source, it'll remind you, and then it'll make you, this is the sun, this is the dawn. So it'll re-illuminate your dawn. And ultimately what this will lead you to is a bit of a surrender to it. Also making sure that you're taking care of duties and responsibilities to yourself. A peace, like a claiming of peace, so you don't feel resentful or bitter towards those who want to market everything. It's like, no, this is not about marketing things. This is about joy. So, and just, yeah, basically taking care of the duties and responsibilities to yourself, because you as the mage, you need to keep on top of that, because you're helping your child aspect connect with that. Moving over to the child. Let's start with the child. Or let's continue with the child. So we continue with the child. Central issue for the child is Kaunaz, which is the rune of the torch or the fire. It's about expansion. It's about opening out. Because the child was just enjoying, like straight up just enjoying imagination, daydreams, enjoying like all of the wonders of that without, any sort of, just with abandon, basically. And this is allowing an expansion of that awareness. It's not like the mage isn't saying, stop imagining. The mage is saying, imagine more and be aware of the connections between what you're imagining and all the worlds that are involved, because there's all these layers and it's gorgeous. What led up to this is we have the end of a journey. So the end of the journey that the child was on, I think, when we chose this, like so far I've been seeing a lot of, and look at this. Both the child and the instinct aspect, the animal aspect, have Rylo reversed as their leading up rune, which is very interesting. And even the mage has the completion rune. We've completed a thing. We've completed a cycle. These just see it as ending a chapter, but the mage sees it as ending a season. So both of these we've just basically rounded out a chapter, and now we're moving forward in something brand new and expanding on what we already have. What is going to help the child is, and this is quite interesting, because the child isn't seeing this in a way that the mage is being embittered by. The child is seeing this as worth, but not, and maybe there is an aspect of the child's like, I can use this, but I don't know if there's the same idea, like the same embittered idea of wealth and worth for the child for this. The child is just seeing it as the worth to its life kind of thing. So this is a great, wonderful thing. Fehu is cattle. It's the wealth that you tend. So it's whatever it is, as long as you take care of it, is going to continue to make your life rich. And so as far as the child's concerned, this is a whole new bunch of cattle that they can play with and take care of, and that will make their life more wonderful and more rich and more bright and exciting. What isn't going to help is we have dagas, which is the rune of the breaking of the day. To a certain extent, what the mage is bringing to the child is overwhelming, because this is, your imagination fills your whole inner life. And when somebody comes up to you and says, there's more, there's this sudden moment of, So there is that sense of, I don't know if I have room to fit more because I'm already full. But it's not anything to really worry about in any way. It's like there's, it's a bit daunting because it's huge. It's so funny because it's what the mage is bringing, and what we chose is actually what is worrying the child. It's like, I don't know, because I've already got a full inner life. But bring yourself back up to this child aspect where you're connecting to more that is going to make your life more rich. As the more you expand, the more you're going to be aware of, and it's going to be just like even more wonderful and bright and incredible. So that's what's going to help with that. And what this is going to lead you to is, this is a long road. You see a brand new, fresh, long road, and that I'm sorry, what popped into my head was years and years and years and years and years and years ago, one of my friends got me into Lord of the Rings Online. And it was just the sort of thing where I was like, I'm just starting this, and there's so much, and I'm not going to be able to get to everything anytime soon. It's all going to be like such a wonderful unfurling and unfolding. So, hello to my friend. And, but it's like that. It's like once you get past that most moment of like, oh my gosh, that initial moment of maybe this is too much, it's like, this is wonderful and I don't have to do it all at once. And it's going to unfurl in front of me and open out, and it's going to be enough to keep me excited and busy and interested for the rest of my life. And that's very exciting. So that's the child. For the animal that joins them, for the animal aspect that joins them, the instinct that is going to bridge the gap between them and is going, not that there's a gap, but it's going to act as a go-between. Central issue is Othala reversed. We're letting go of what no longer serves us. We are stepping outside of our comfort zone, and we are finding a sense of home within wherever we are. Once again, leading up, we've just ended a chapter of our lives, and now we're doing this new thing where we are on this new adventure, and we're stepping outside of our comfort zone and leaving behind what no longer serves. What is going to help you in this case, which is really interesting because this is what wasn't helping in the last session, the last reading that I did, we have Isa, which is the rune of ice. The ice is stillness. The ice is the stillness through which clarity comes. So the hare, who can stand very still if it wants to, is going to help that, because the child is just very excited and like almost, I'm going to say flighty a little bit, because look at all the sky. And as there is more, there's a temptation to just run around like as one's younger self will, where you're like, oh, but this, oh, but also this, oh, but this, and you're not getting the chance to focus on anything. You're just like, everything. So the hare is allowing us, while we have new opportunities, to take the moment to be still with each of them, and not, even though it is a hare, not run around like this is tempted to. So this is going to help with this, and this is going to help with this. Help with the supernova of all of this, and it's also going to help with the expansion that the child is having, where the child is taking in all the new things. What is not going to help is also a sense of overwhelm, which is, look at this. Both of these are led up to by the end of a journey, and both of these are worried by the sense of overwhelm. But the child's solution is to be excited about all the new toys. The hare's solution, the instinctive solution, is to be still and allow the clarity to come through so that you're not being overwhelmed. And what this is going to lead you to is, first of all, it's going to connect to these very nicely. So we have Gebo, which is the rune of the gift. This is an exchange, and this is how it's going to be the exchange. This is going to bridge the two of them. This is going to be the go-between. And this is the one-on-one interaction where they're both going to meet each other in a place of instinct, magical, mystical instinct where it's, let's both feel it. This is the inner child and this is the inner mage, and let's both feel this in our very natural sense, like our inner cub. Well, no, let's say inner hare in this case. And we're going to meet this in this very instinctive way and feel it for all it is and be still and take this in. So that, Cameo Brooch people, is your exciting reading about choosing the brooch and who is going to guide you and all of this rich stuff. So that is very cool. So I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello to all of you who chose the turtle brooch. So let's keep the turtle brooch here. This is the brooch that is going to be picked once we have everything set up. First of all, let's start by finding out what space in which we're holding this ritual to choose what is going to lead us forward in the next little stretch of our journey. So you've got to see the cards, the ones that we've already gone through in the other sessions. So where is this being held? This is being held in a place of beauty, in a place of beauty. So very important. This is the wood nymph. It is beauty. Very important to keep this in mind. So, and that actually works really well with the turtle brooch, because the turtle brooch has the most gorgeous back. So that's neat. So let's call our council. Let's get our council together. This is what's going to be overseeing what we're doing as we make our choice instinctively, which is going to be for the turtle brooch, but we're going to have these watching over us. So in the north, for groundedness, we have the fringe dweller, see with eyes and heart wide open. In the east, for communication, we have the mandrake spirit, keep yourself rooted in the earth, spring is coming, dream deep. In the south, for fire and expressing will, we have the witch hare, cross the threshold, leap the hedge, go over the wall. And in the west, for sunsets and emotions and intuition, we have the owl song, whisper secrets to the moonlight, find strength in stillness. So say our council. So let's move these aside a little bit so that we can have the the candles. So this first candle is the source that you're accessing, that is going to help give you the inspiration to reach in and draw what is going to be the turtle brooch, whose pin just came undone. So let me just reattach that so I don't stab myself in the middle of the reading, because that would not be fun. And this is the one that you will need to call on if this one fades. So this is an exchange. So in that this is your access to source, you're opening up a portal to source to allow you to have that presence of mind and connection that is going to allow you to reach into the box and pull out the brooch of what you need the most to lead you at this point. I see this as a one-on-one interaction with whatever you consider the divine. If that starts to feel like it's fading, if you lose connection to that, this is what's going to reignite it, which is Hagalaz, which is the rune of the hailstorm. It's nature. It's your true nature. So tap into nature, tap into what your true nature is, and this will allow this this connection to rekindle and reconnect. So you reach in and you pull the turtle brooch, which belongs to the mage that we're going to find out in a moment. So let's get the counselors aside. Let's get the place aside, because we are no longer in the barn. And let's get the candles snuffed and put out, because we are done with the ritual, and we are going to go and get our mage and our child and our instinctive animal aspect, who are on their journey now. The mage is leading, the child is being guided, and the animal aspect is going to come in and be the go-between between those, as far as what the mage is leading the child in. So coming upon them as they are resting on their journey is the animal guide. I'm going to move this down so that we can, I don't want to lose the sight of the beautiful turtle. And you are joined by the lizard and pitcher plant, which is a warning against stagnation. So this is that you are embodying as well. And that's the other thing, is that you're embodying all of these. All of these three things are aspects of self. So the instinctive aspect of self that you will want to call upon at all times, and this is really neat because these are both reptiles, that you're going to want to remember the brightness, the dartingness, and the ability to avoid stagnation and all of that is this lizard and pitcher plant. So this is what's going to join the mage and the child on their journey to help them avoid stagnation as they are on their journey, although they are all resting at this point, so that we can talk to them and see them and talk about them and find ways to embody them, because that's what all of this is about. All of these are aspects of self. So the mage, root girl, the disowned self. So this is really interesting. The mage in this case is, and what you're allowing to lead you, is very much a shadow aspect for you. This is a part of you that you had not acknowledged for a long time. This is a part of you that was left behind as you grew, I suppose. This is a part of you that you are only now reconnecting with. And so you can embody this, and this, when you embody it, will lead your inner child in a way that you've never been led before. And this is the brooch that you chose. Now let's see what the inner child looks like, what the child looks like that is on this journey, that is being led by the mage, that is represented by the root girl, which is the aspect of self that you disowned quite a long time ago, and now that you are allowing to lead you in a wise way. Here's our child. All that glitters. All that glitters. So maybe this is why this was left behind, because this wasn't as sparkly or wasn't as exciting as the parts of you that you went with. As you grew, you're like, okay, but I have to be flashy. I have to keep people's attention. I have to be something that is really, really exciting. So there's a franticness, like a desperation to be noticed, to be seen, and to never leave the thoughts of the people that you're bouncing around with, or at least that you were in this particular case. And that's one of the reasons that this is so important. Like, it's like, in that Disney movie with the sister that was always doing the beautiful things and that was making all the flowers and everything, but all she wanted was to do something real. That's the sort of dynamic I'm seeing here, is that, you've had this whole thing about, that you were made to believe that nobody would want you unless this was what you were. But this is your deeper, richer, more magical aspect. And now you are letting that lead. You chose it. And this is all about, you're being met by the animal aspect, your instinctive aspect, because this is stagnation, because there's very little depth to this. There's beauty, and there's goodness. And I think you were here in a place of beauty. You were here in a place of beauty to select this. A lot of it was about appearances, and a lot of it was about looking right, looking like the way that you needed to, and attractively, and in a good. And this is. I'm not saying this is what you're like now, but there was a sense that was like, this is. If I'm not this, then people aren't going to want me around, kind of thing. But there was such richness beneath the surface of that, and this is what this is all going to be about, as far as this is what's going to lead you now out of this. And so I think this is very eager to be led by this, and to be connected by this, where we're not going to be, this has become a comfort zone to a certain extent, but we need this magic. So let's get some runes down and get some further clarity on what each of these is saying to you. So we're using the birch for the child, the oak for the mage, and the maple for the animal aspect. the mystic instinctive aspect of self. All of these can be embodied, and you will be embodying all of these as you move forward on this journey. So let's start with a mage. And again, this is not gender specific. If your mage is coming through for you as presenting more female, again, my dream, it was a male, but that was me. It was my dream was a male mage and a male child. And then the animal was female, which, what does that tell you? But this could be anything for you. Like, however you want to do this, I mean, not however you want to do this, however it presents to you is going to be what is right for you. Look at that. That's neat. Connecting with your nature, which once again, if you remember, both of these were your candles. So the lizard, in this case, your instinctive aspect, is embodying both of your candles the way that you chose this, which is fascinating. So we'll get to that. And then the birch for the child, I'm using birch because birch is beginnings and birth. So it's newness. It's newness. Yes, worth. Fascinating. Fascinating. Dee, dee, dee. Alrighty, very nice, very nice, very nice. All about connecting to source, so this is really good. We'll start with the mage. Central issue for the mage, we have Laguz reversed. Laguz is the rune of emotion, intuition, and heart, and flow. It's water. It's first of all, you're connecting to heart. You're turning deep inward and connecting to your deep inner heart, because maybe you haven't had the chance to do that. Maybe you were afraid to do that, but that's going to be key, and that's what's going to start leading you. And, you know, we have a turtle, which is, the turtle is it swims. So this is going deep in the water, and the turtle brooch is helping you go deep. It helps you access the emotions that have been buried there. It helps you access, maybe you will start to dream again in a way that you will remember. Maybe, you know, that you're going to be able to access a deeper flow than what you had before. Leading up to this basically has been not only a need, but also an emergency. So this has arrived just in time. We have Nauthiz, which is the rune of need. This particular Nauthiz doesn't have a reversal, so I read it as both. And so now we're sort of digging deep to where the deeper flow is, and that's what this mage is going to bring out for you when you embody it and when you let it lead you. What is going to help you is, this is an extremely strong part of you. This is very grounded. This is very healthy. This is very resilient part of you. It's Uruz, it's the wild ox. This is strength and health and stick-to-itiveness and stubbornness and resistance. And this is a very, very powerful part of you. So that's what's going to help the most as you dig deep and as you access this deep inner flow, this deep inner river of yours. What is going to help you is that the strength that's going to come from this, that you currently don't have access to because you hadn't been accessing it, but now you are, and it is going to give you immense strength. What isn't going to help is we are a bit worried about, it's almost like you're rewinding and restarting, because this is going to be a retroactive thing. Whenever you do inner child work, that's one of the magics of it, is that, to speak magic to psychology, one of the magics of it is that you're going back in time and healing that aspect of you, that moment in your life, and that will carry forward. It's almost like It's almost like going back in time and fixing a thing that then carries forward. It flows forward, and it's just incredible. It's incredible magic. And so, what is not helping? I mean, I see this as ultimately helping, but this may be a worry about, you may be a bit worried about going back and facing these things, because you're healing a lot. Because if this has been disowned your whole life, this aspect that is now leading you, you're going to have to go back and meet that to carry forward, and that's a bit worrying, but it is a need. At the same time, if that worries you, bring yourself back up to here, which is Uruz, which is the strength. You are strong enough to do this. You are incredibly strong and incredibly powerful. And this is a strength it's like tapping into earth energy when you visualize reaching down and then that flows up, and it's super, super powerful. What this is going to lead you to is, and what the mage is going to lead you to, is being able to let go of what no longer serves you. It's going to lead you to stepping outside of your comfort zone, which is currently this, and it's going to allow you to feel very much more at home internally wherever you are. Your child aspect that you are going to also embody while you're being led by the mage aspect, which you are also going to embody. You're going to play both. You're going to play this too. We're going to get to that. Central issue is Fehu. Fehu is the rune of wealth and worth. And as the card is showing, there has been a sense all your life of that you have to appear perfect, that you have to, there's that sense of that. And that's why this has all come to help, and why you chose the turtle. So there is that constant sense of, we have to be of worth. We have to be, there has to be value to what we're doing. We can't just be, we have to be of value. And leading up to this, we have Tiva's reversed, which is Tyr's rune, Tyr's the warrior god. I see this as being disarmed. You've just felt a bit disarmed, like you don't have what you need to take care of, like to defend yourself and to fight if you need to. And you're just like, but this is what I need, and I need to be of worth. And there's that sense of, you're tired. Your sword arm doesn't even want to lift anymore. And so now you're like, well, how can I be of worth? And it's because you're missing this, and that's why this is leading you now, and you're going to help with that. What is going to help is you're immediately going to see the fruits of your labors. Immediately when you're working on this and you're on this journey, you're going to see results, and it's going to be nourishing, and it's going to keep you in the present moment, and it's going to be very, suddenly the world is going to be very much more abundant to you. It's going to feel very much more rich, and like this, you're concerned about value and richness. Everything you do with this is going to be so much richer than you felt before, and so much more abundant and so much more nourishing. And so you're going to see those results immediately. What isn't going to help is this feeling like this is an impossible challenge. We have Thurisaz reversed, which is the thorn, the giant, the gateway. It is reversed on the lower line. It's going to feel like, how could I possibly do this? This is impossible. This is my whole life, and I don't know that I can do this at this stage. You can. We're letting this lead for a while. You voted for it with your ritual. So bring yourself back up to where it doesn't have to be done all at once. You're doing this bit by bit, and every bit is just connecting you to this incredible strength, and every bit is nourishing you, and every bit is giving you this great abundance that you didn't know you had access to. And ultimately what this is leading you to is connection to source, based on this was the main candle that you were accessing source through to make this choice. This is a one-on-one interaction. This is one-on-one interaction with source. This is one-on-one interaction with your mage aspect, that is this disowned part of you that you're allowing to lead now. And this is one-on-one aspect with your instinct, which is your go-between. And of course, because this was your main candle, it accesses that. Now, your animal aspect, your instinctive aspect, that is going to be the go-between between the mage and you when needed, and also going to give you some joy, is very much about making sure there's no stagnation happening. We're not going to just sit on, we're not going to take a step and then we're just going to sit there, because we've had enough of that. What this is focused on, the central issue, is really about connecting you to source, getting that interaction with that mage aspect and with source, because that's going to be key to have that connection. And it's an exchange. It's going to be an exchange, and it's always going to be an exchange going forward. Leading up to this, what was done is done. It's ended. We have Raida reversed, which is the end of a journey. We are now moving forward, accessing source. And to do that, we're accessing our true nature. And our true nature incorporates both of these. Our true nature incorporates the presenting side, and the child that learned that this is important and we need to have this presented. But the true nature also represents that plus Obviously we're coming from a place of beauty. We did the ritual in the place of beauty. So that's very important, but we're going to give that depth with the roots and with the magic and what was left behind but is now being incorporated and allowed to lead. What isn't going to help is stillness, in terms of standstill, to freeze in the face of this, because we've ended the old journey and now we're in this new place, and the instinct may be to just freeze. But the lizard is against stagnation. The point is to dart and be bright and shining and a living rainbow in the world. So freezing and constricting and not moving forward to this and just like, no, I'm going to stick with what I know, that's not going to help you. Bring yourself back up to this true nature where everything is in motion and it's wildness, and you're bringing that in and incorporating it. And what this is going to lead you to is what you were worried about, but is now the best possible thing, which this is going to help you with. Because if this is worrying you, then this is going to help you to go back and rebirth things, to go back and into your life's path and plant those seeds so that when you get to the age that you are, you're going to be more rich and more blooming than before, and there's your harvest as well. So that was fascinating. So that is your reading of Pick-a-Brooch. Connect with your thing that is you're going to let lead for a little while and all of that good stuff. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello to all of you who chose the topaz brooch. So this is the brooch you're going to pick in the ritual. We haven't picked it yet, but this is the one that's going to get picked. Let's start by seeing where we are doing this ritual. We are doing this ritual in a place of this ritual is being done in a place of sanctuary, mystic meadow. So visualize the meadow. It's a place of sanctuary for you. Now we're going to call the counselors that are going to be surrounding you. This is the council. This is those who are standing witness to the ritual that you are doing oh my gosh. So in the north, grounded, we have the sentinel. New opportunities shall manifest in unexpected ways. In the east, we have the old one, the ancestors' call, seek their wisdom. It's communication. In the south, for expression of will, we have the forest walker, keep courage, be gentle. So even as you are fiery, be gentle. And in the west, sunsets and emotion, we have the thimble witch. There is magic in beginnings, so start something new. Every ending is a beginning. So let's move these out and then light our candles. The first candle is what is going to connect you to source so that you can choose the right brooch in a true way. And this is the one that if that fades, you can connect with and it will relight and rekindle that one. So for the main candle connection, we have Ansu's, which is the rune of communication and manifestation and expression. So this is, it's your expression in the world, but it's also your connection with whatever source is for you. If you feel that start to fade, connect with your strength. We have Uruz, which is the rune of the wild ox. This is strength, health, stubbornness, groundedness. Just basically reconnect with that inherent strength that you have, and that will allow you to express again and have that communication happening with source. So with that, we draw the brooch, and it's the topaz brooch. So let's get the candles back here. Let's gather the council, because they were there and they reflected, and now let's come out of the barn, because now we are out on the road on our new journey being led by the mage. So now we are going to find our mage, our child, and the aspect of self. These are all aspects of self that you can embody and that I recommend that you do. And this is the journey that we are on. So the instinctive aspect that is going to find the mage and the child resting on their new journey, and that you will embody, and that will be the go-between between the mage aspect of self and the child aspect of self, is the Ram and Dahlia, determination. So this is going to remind you, whenever you falter, and this is like the urus in the candle, whenever you falter, whenever that candle begins to fade, be that determination, be that Ram, and come in and remind them why they're here. So let's see the child, since that's the next one I'm grabbing, which is kind of neat. The order that they're coming down is really interesting, because my initial sense was, let's start with the animal aspect, let's do the mage and then the child, and then I think we've done them in the other directions as well, so it's quite interesting. So here's the child aspect, inner child, that is being led by whose brooch you took. So we have by the book. It's very good. The child is a bit of a stickler, but that's by necessity. I mean, these are the things we do because they keep us feeling safe. So perhaps what the topaz brooch is showing us is a mage that's going to lead us to be a little bit more adventurous, but we'll see. That's my prediction, but I don't know. So let's see what our mage is for this. Who's our mage? Whose brooch is this? Who is leading us? Gathering around, the power of community. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what the runes are going to say about these cards, because that's really neat, because this is a very grounded little trio. This isn't about, let's go have a wild and crazy adventure to get us out of being stuck in the mud. This is about, let's take our patience and our, I don't want obedience, but it's just in terms of like, our methodicalness, and let's expand this and get some different viewpoints, perhaps, because maybe that's actually the key to it, is that, we have our set ways, but we could be more if we expanded out and got to see other people's ways. So let's get some runes and see what we have for some explanation on this. I have no idea what the times on these are, because each of these is like 2 little sets, but I don't, because it's just what needs to be told. So it's kind of neat. Some of these may be a lot shorter than others, and some of these are much longer. I think the first session I did for the first brooch was really long. So I have runes. I'm using the oak runes for the mage. I'm using the maple runes for the animal aspect, and I'm using the birch runes for the child. I think I'm going to start with the child, with the birch runes. Birch, of course, is beginnings and births. So, and by this, you feel very independent, but maybe you also feel a little bit less supported than you would like to, because maybe you feel like you're the only one who's applying these rules. So that's kind of interesting. I'm actually going to lay out all the runes at once and then read them together, because that's been really cool in the past few readings, and I'm doing the mage next, because we see some interactions between the runes that are going down that are really, really poignant. So it's interesting. Yes, yesity, yes. All right. So that's really neat. Keeping in mind, oh my gosh, well, this ended up getting that. So I'm going to keep that because it went down without my thinking of it. This is the exchange. So this already was the way that this was going down, but the animal aspect acts as the go-between between the mage aspect and the child aspect. These are all aspects of self. You are embodying all of these during the process of this journey that you are on. But right now you're letting the mage aspect lead, which is connecting you to community, which is something that maybe you hadn't been doing before. You're gathering everybody around to share. So Gabo is the rune of the gift. This is always an exchange, and it's one-on-one interactions. So this is your go-between that's going to help you with this. But it's also, it's going to keep you on track. The Ram is going to keep you both on track. Neat. I'm going to put that up here because otherwise it'll be wobbly. How many Hagalaz do I have? I have a Hagalaz on each card in 3 different spots, which is really cool. Okay, so do we start with the child? Let's start with the child. The child, who is very much focused and by the book and does things the way that, there's things that have to be done a certain way, and seems to be, to a certain extent, relatively rigid, but does find itself feeling alone a lot and finds itself like it has to support itself, which is not always a problem. Like it's very independent, but it does things that have to be done a certain way. And this is because before that, things were chaotic. It felt like things were way out of its control, and it didn't know any other way to deal with it but to be very, very rigid and make sure that we're taking things like this is how it has to be done. Again, it's a safety thing. It's a self-protection thing. What helps at this point is, this is what it's all about. The by the book thing. We're taking care of our cattle. So it's the things that, as long as we're taking care of them, make our lives rich and of worth. So we're taking care of those things. Take care of the things that make your life have value and feel like it has value. So tend to your cattle. That's going to help the child aspect, but also to look and see, to evaluate the worth and the value of what's happening. What isn't going to help is we have Laguz, which is the rune of emotion, intuition, and heart, and flow. It's water. Leading from that, there's a lot of emotions running under the surface, and that's not helping us because we're not acknowledging them. We're just like, okay, but we have to keep the worth of things. We have to stay on top of things. We have to support ourselves because I'm the only one that knows how things are working, that how things have to go. So I have to stay on top of that, and I have to make sure, that. Bring yourself back up to is like, what is, I'll get to that in a second. So leading from that, there's a lot of emotions going on under the surface, but they are sort of under the surface and they're worrying you, like they could drag you down if you let them. And I think a lot of it is like, this may be, it's upright, but it's worries about the emotions that you might have if you stop doing this, I think. So once again, what will help you is take care of your cattle, whatever it is that makes your life feel of worth and valuable and rich. Take care of that. And ultimately, this is going to lead us to a breakthrough. We're going to have a breakthrough, and it's going to be through this journey and with the help of the mage aspect and the animal aspect. So let's go to the mage. For the mage, we have Uruz reversed, which is the rune of the wild ox. This has to do with strength and health and stubbornness. It is reversed in the central issue spot, so we're connecting to inner strength here. Leading up to this, we have Thurizaz reversed. Thurizaz is the rune of the thorn, the giant, the gateway. This is the challenge. You've just been through a really hard challenge, both of you. And now we're in a situation where this is inner support and this is inner strength. So the mage is going to help you have even more inner strength, and we're going to do that by connecting to community. What is going to help you is we're really going to turn back the clock a bit on where we are. And let's go back a bit and replant some seeds and have it so that you're sort of going back to childhood to a certain extent, and then let's introduce this element because this is going to help you feel stronger and get that inner strength happening. What isn't going to help is we have Othala reversed. Othala is the rune of the home and the homeland. This has to do with letting go of things that no longer serve, but also like you're worried about losing your comfort zone, basically, which is what this is. This is why we're going to go back and build from before. What this is all going to lead you to is it's almost like you're returning to what you ran away from. You're going to be able to face the things that are out of your control because you're going to feel more strong and more resilient than before. So now we're moving to the animal aspect. Once again, you can embody each of these, and this is the part that's going to be the go-between. So once again, this is going to keep you both on track. Determination. You really want to do this because it's going to make your life more rich anyway. So this is going to be all about the birth. This is going to be all about let's see how you're becoming. We're going back and re-becoming. So this is going to help you become, and it's going to incorporate both of these, like incorporating the connection to community, and it's going to incorporate your own strength and solidness. Leading up to this, we had a moment where this was sort of stuck. This wasn't moving forward. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that you weren't connecting outward. And this is going to help you connect outward. What is going to help you the most is connection and creation of home. You're going to create a new sense of home and comfort. Now, this is going to be your comfort to a certain extent, but we're creating a new one by what the mage is helping you with, and of course by what the animal aspect is helping you with as well, which is bridging this. What isn't going to help you is we have Hagalaz, which is the fear. You came from this, you're afraid of it, and you're going to rejoin it, but stronger. And so that's going to drag you down. This is why it's all the more important to have that sense of comfort that is built in, that you're going to be connecting with as you move forward with your new birthing. And ultimately, you're going to see the fruits of your labors. You're going to have a great connection with, you're going to have a harvest. And this is the harvest and also time. So you're going to have the fruits of your labors. You're going to have abundance, and it's going to be very, very good for everybody. That's awesome. That's your reading. That's your ritual and your new leader that you're going to follow, and your new mage, and you're going to integrate, and you're going to become more than you were. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.